Kia ora. Today I want to talk to you about the magic of being alone and how you can actually boost your manifestation abilities, get the life that you're looking for, and change things up massively in the way that you want to go, in the direction that you want to go, just from spending some time by yourself in your own energy. So the first thing I want to bring up is that concept of being in someone else's energy or being in your own energy. And the reason I'm talking about this as well is because this is something I was bad at, like really, really bad at. And even just recently, I've been getting a lot better at it. So I'll talk about that in a second. So when you're constantly in other people's energy, you're always with them. Maybe you live with many other people, or you work with people all the time, or you have a partner, or you have a certain group of friends that you're always doing things with. Just know that you're always sitting in other people's energy. And what I mean by that is people have thoughts, people have whakaaro, and they have ways of doing things, and we can fall into that. It's much easier to fall into the way others do things if we're around a lot of people that do things a certain way, especially if they have like a really strong kind of groove that they've got into and it feels right for them, and it might be great for them. And it also might be great for you, but you don't know this yet until you've actually had some time by yourself to see how you do things and how things really work for you. And so just start to be curious, like maybe I like to do things differently than the people who are closest to me, the people I spend the most time with. And especially if you're in an environment that you're starting to think, this isn't so good for me. So if you're at a workplace or you're in a partnership, and you're thinking, I'm starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit edgy, maybe you just need to spend a little bit of time alone and see if there's some ways you can do things differently. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to ditch your partner, or you've got to ditch your work or ditch the people you're hanging out with. It might mean that, of course, but it could also just mean you stepping more solidly, grounding the way that you do things, and that can benefit them as well. So you're offering more of yourself, you're allowing more of yourself to come out and to be free. And so this is a great exploration. And when you're spending that time with yourself in your energy, ask yourself the question, like, do I like getting up at this time in the morning? Do I enjoy that the first thing I do is have a coffee or eat breakfast? Is that something that is actually what my kind of inner being, my inner wisdom is guiding me to do? Or is it something like it's just a habit that I've fallen into? Would I rather connect with nature in the morning? Would I rather listen to some music or a podcast or dance? Is it better for me to fast in the morning and to eat a little bit later? Just really feel into this. When you start asking these questions and saying, what do I really want in this moment right now? What feels good for me right now? And it could be just the simplest thing. It's just like, just take a breath. Just take a breath. And then from there, the next thing. And so it's not like you need to understand everything in every moment. Like if you took a few hours to be by yourself once a week or something, if that's a massive shift for you, or if you took 20 minutes every day, or even 10 minutes, like if you've got kids or something and it's just cray, just take that time and be like, what do I need for myself right now? What is different? What can I give myself that's different that I haven't been allowing myself to do, to feel, to think, to enjoy? Like what is different? So this is one of the key questions that I think is so valid and so important. And coming from a place where I used to seek validation from helping other people, from sorting their lives out, I would often just have certain people that kind of needed me and I needed them to help them. And so just allowing myself to kind of step back and realize, like, they don't need me, they're fine. They're going to be sweet. And I am going to be able to help so many more people when I'm focusing on myself. So when we turn our energy towards ourselves, rather than constantly thinking, worrying about, say, what's happening in the world, worrying about someone else who's doing better than us, or anything that we're thinking about, just focusing. Maybe someone has like a lot of issues or problems, or maybe someone's doing incredibly well, and we're thinking about those people a lot of the time. Our energy is going out to them. And if you've heard, I'm sure you have, what we focus on the most is what we bring more of into our lives. And so if you're always focusing on trees and nature, you're going to notice them everywhere. You're going to be drawn towards them. You're going to go towards them. But if you're thinking all the time about how people are doing better than you, about, I wonder what this person wants so that I can please them, so that I can make myself feel better, then again, we're going to be constantly trying to navigate and adjust our lives and our thoughts and our actions based around what other people want and what seems to be good for them. And of course, we're just guessing, right? We don't really know unless we've sat down and chatted to them. But what is so important is us doing what's right for us, because when we do that, when we do really listen, ultimately it is the best for everyone anyway. So how I've been getting better at this recently, my partner and I have been together over 6 months now. He is so good at taking time for himself, and it's such a beautiful thing to see, because he honors himself in such a magical way. It's like, yeah, I need to go do this by myself now. I'm going to walk, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to do all these bits and pieces. And we do lots of all that beautiful stuff together. But sometimes he's just like, yeah, I just need to be alone. I need some time to myself. And this, I mean, initially it was a bit of a challenge. I was like, whoa, you don't want to hang out with me? But really quickly, because I have the process of feeling how this feels for me and being like, oh, what does this feel like? And really quickly I was able to move through that. Like, dude, you need this too. Like, you need some time to yourself. And not only that, you're going to thrive off having this time to yourself. And so by just, again, seeing how other people had triggered me in a certain way, gave me this beautiful gift of, that's what you need for you. And I realized that I'm actually someone who thrives off having quite a bit of time to myself. Which, I don't know, if you're one of my beautiful friends in London, you'll be thinking, she's always hanging out with people. She's always around other people. And this is so true. Like, I always was. And I love that. Like, there's a big part of me that just loves being around other people and loves sharing in that collective energy. But there's also this part of me that just wants to be quiet and creative and crazy and whatever else that I do when I'm just by myself. And so learning more about that and realizing that that benefits me, it benefits my business, it benefits my creativity, it benefits my clients. And so it's so powerful. So yeah, that is one of the ways just recently I've been realizing through, just seeing how I'm triggered. And if we see how we're triggered, there's always a magical gift in it for us. And so definitely check in with what's triggering you, and then you can see what it is underneath. What is that gift that your subconscious, that your wisdom is trying to tell you? And so I would encourage you to just think now, what would be like a little bit of a whittle, a little bit of a challenge for you that you can think, okay, so at the moment, maybe I get a couple of hours a week to myself, and that's just before bed, and I read a book or something. What way can you add in more time to yourself? Like, what would be a beautiful challenge? Can you take even like an overnight B&B stay somewhere where you're just by yourself and you're just sitting in your own energy, and let yourself get a little bit bored? Let those feelings come up, feel that, and just see what the hidden message is underneath it. And sometimes it is like, I'm missing out. If I'm not around other people, I'm missing out. Or if I'm not helping other people, I'm not good enough. Or if I'm not on the pulse and I know exactly what's going on, then I'm gonna be left behind and I'm gonna get rejected. Like, so there's all this stuff that can come up, and when we can let ourselves move through that, we can really connect to who we are and to what feels great to us, and we can start stepping into ourselves. And nothing feels better than stepping into who we really are and letting all of that come up and rise up. So here's my whittle, here's my challenge to you. I hand my challenge stick over. I don't know if that's a thing. Talking stick, challenge stick, me. I wish I had a stick. Anyway, I have a challenge pumpkin, butternut squash to hand to you. So if you want to accept that, then let me know what you decide and how it goes. Just send me some little comments or a little DM after this, and I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching, for listening. If you've enjoyed this, I'd love you to like it. Please share it with those who you think it would benefit, and subscribe to my channel. I would love to help more people just to weave their magical worlds. The more people who are doing it, the better it is for all of us. Ka kite anō.